One modern destroyer could break D-Day's beach defenses in minutes, not hours. Not by flattening every bunker across 50 miles of coast. By silencing the 10 to 20 key fire nodes that pin troops on the sand. That's the difference. On June 6, 1944, Allied warships fired thousands of shells at Normandy. Most missed. Smoke, sea swell, and guesswork turned heavy guns into area weapons. German pillboxes kept firing. Machine gun nests crossed the beach with interlocking fire. Troops waded into a kill zone because the right targets stayed alive. A modern destroyer changes one thing. It sees, and when you see, you don't spray, you pick, you delete. Here's the scenario. One Arleigh Burke-class destroyer appears off Omaha Beach at H-30 minutes. No modern air support, no time travel tricks. Just the ship, its sensors, its missiles, and its 5-inch gun. The mission isn't to erase the Atlantic Wall. It's to open 2 corridors, each 500 meters wide, where landing craft can hit the beach without getting shredded. The Germans have 85 strong points along Omaha. Casemates with artillery, reinforced machine gun positions, observation posts calling fire, minefields and beach obstacles backed by enfilading fire. In 1944, naval gunfire tried to suppress all of it. It failed because gunners couldn't tell what they hit. Shells landed, dust rose. Gunners moved to the next grid square. Then troops landed and found out the hard way which bunkers still worked. The destroyer doesn't guess. Its Spy 1D radar tracks the coastline. Thermal imaging picks up heat signatures from firing ports. Electronic warfare systems locate German coastal radar and jam it. A drone launches, circles 2 miles inland, and maps every bunker, trench line, and gun position visible from above. The ship's combat system builds a target list in under 3 minutes. Not 85 targets, 20. The ones that matter. The ones that create the kill zone. Fire Node Alpha, a 75mm gun casemate overlooking the Easy Red sector. Fire Node Bravo, a machine gun nest with interlocking fields covering the shingle. Fire Node Charlie, the forward observer post directing mortar fire from the bluffs. These aren't the biggest positions. They're the ones that stop the advance. At H-25, the destroyer fires. Tomahawk missiles don't need to get close. They don't care about sea state or smoke. Each one has a preloaded target image and GPS coordinates. The first salvo is 6 missiles, 6 casemates. The missiles fly low, under radar, and punch through reinforced concrete before detonating. Bunker Alpha disintegrates. The 75mm gun inside becomes shrapnel. Bunker Bravo collapses inward. The machine gun crew dies without firing a shot. Observer post Charlie vanishes in a cloud of pulverized stone. Time from launch to impact, 4 minutes. The German commanders on the bluff don't understand what happened. Their radios go silent. Their strongest points just stopped existing. But the destroyer isn't done. 10 nodes down, 10 to go. The 5-inch gun opens up. Not random fire, directed fire. The ship's fire control system feeds it. Coordinates for every trench and mortar pit between the 2 corridors. High explosive rounds detonate above ground. Variable time fuses turn each shell into an airburst that shreds anything in the open. Machine gun teams crouch in their nests and wait for it to stop. It doesn't stop. The gun cycles every 3 seconds. 32 rounds per minute. The corridors fill with dust and fragmentation. Troops can't man the guns. They can't see. They can't coordinate. The kill zone becomes a dead zone for the defenders. At H-hour, landing craft hit the beach. The corridors are open, not safe. Open resistance is scattered. Isolated riflemen, a few mortars still dropping rounds. But the network is broken. The interlocking fire is gone. Troops move inland. Here's what the Allies didn't have in 1944. Certainty. Ships fired prep barrages for hours. Bombers dropped payloads inland. Then troops landed and discovered which defenses survived. The feedback loop was slow. A pillbox fires. Troops radio back. A spotter tries to locate it. Naval gunfire adjusts. Maybe the next salvo hits. Maybe it doesn't. Meanwhile, men die on the sand. The modern destroyer closes that loop to seconds. It doesn't wait for reports. It watches the entire battlefield in real time. The ship's Aegis system tracks everything. Muzzle flashes, heat blooms from firing ports. radio transmissions between German units. When a mortar crew fires from the bluffs, thermal imaging catches the launch signature. The combat system calculates the firing position, assigns a priority rating, and cues a response. The 5-inch gun swivels. 3 seconds later, a variable time airburst detonates directly over the mortar pit. The crew is shredded before they can load the next round. No guesswork, no adjustment fire. The ground target eliminated. But here's where it gets interesting. The destroyer can't do everything at once. It carries 90 Tomahawk missiles.
Sounds like a lot, it's not.
Each casemate takes 1 missile. Some need 2 if they're deeply buried or have reinforced overhead cover. The ship just used 6 missiles to open the initial corridor. 14 more targets remain in the priority list. That's 20 missiles minimum. Then there are secondary targets, command bunkers, ammunition dumps, reserve positions. The magazine empties fast. The crew has to choose. Which bunker dies now? Which one can wait? Which one can the 5-inch gun handle instead of wasting a Tomahawk? The calculations happen in the Combat Information Center. Threat matrix on the main display. Casemates with direct fire on the landing zones get top priority. Observation posts calling artillery get second priority. Machine gun nests and defilade get tagged for the 5-inch. The captain doesn't agonize. The system recommends. He approves missiles launch in pairs. 2 more casemates disintegrate. The 5-inch shifts fire to suppression mode. It walks rounds along trench lines, connecting the strong points. German reinforcements try to move forward. Airbursts catch them in the open. Bodies pile in the communication trenches. Then the Germans adapt. Flak guns start tracking the destroyer's helicopter. The helo is the ship's eye in the sky. It hovers 2 miles offshore, feeding targeting data and confirming kills. A quad 20mm flak mount opens up, traces arc toward the helo. The pilot banks hard and climbs. The flak can't reach him at altitude, but now he can't get close enough for detailed battle damage assessment. The destroyer loses fidelity. The crew switches to drone coverage, but the small quadcopter has limited range and endurance. For 8 minutes, the ship is partially blind. During those 8 minutes, German crews rush back to damaged positions. A 50mm gun in a half-collapsed casemate gets manned again. It fires on landing craft approaching the beach. 3 rounds hit, 1 craft explodes. Troops in the water. The destroyer picks up the muzzle flash, but the gun is behind rubble. Tomahawk won't work. Too much debris. The 5-inch can't get the angle. The helo has to go back in, low, and finish it with a Hellfire missile. The helo pilot drops to 200 feet. Waves blur beneath the skids. The half-collapsed casemate is still firing. Muzzle flash every 12 seconds. Landing craft scatter, but the beach corridor is narrow. Nowhere to hide. The pilot locks a Hellfire missile. Laser designator paints the target. The missile streaks in and punches through the rubble. The casemate erupts from the inside. Gun silent, threat eliminated. But now, German coastal batteries have a new problem to solve. They can't hit the destroyer. It's hull down beyond the horizon. Radar shows a contact 14 miles out. Their biggest guns have a range of 11 miles. They can't touch it, so they do what defenders always do. They try to blind it. Smoke generators ignite along the bluff. Thick white clouds roll down toward the beach. In 1944, this worked. Naval spotters lost line of sight. Fire missions stopped. Troops fought through smoke without support. Today, smoke is useless. The destroyer's targeting systems don't need visible light. Thermal imaging sees through smoke. Radar sees through smoke. The fire control computer doesn't even blink. German crews hiding in the smoke show up as bright heat signatures. The 5-inch gun keeps hammering. Rounds detonate inside the smoke cloud. Screams silence. But here's what nobody expected. The real advantage isn't firepower, it's information. On D-Day, Allied commanders didn't know which strong points were destroyed and which were suppressed. Suppressed means quiet but alive. Groups advance. The position wakes up. Gunfire from behind chaos. The destroyer eliminates that uncertainty. After each strike, the drone circles back. High-resolution cameras confirm damage. Casemate gone. Check. Gun barrel twisted. Check. No movement. Check. The ship builds a live kill map. Green zones confirmed clear. Yellow zones suppressed, needs follow-up. Red zones, still active priority fire. Commanders on the landing craft get updates every 90 seconds. They know exactly where to land. They know which routes are open. They know which bunkers are faking death. 22 minutes into the bombardment, the destroyer has fired 18 Tomahawks and 400 rounds of 5-inch. 16 primary fire nodes are destroyed. 4 are suppressed but not confirmed dead. The corridors are wider now, 700 meters each. Machine gun fire has dropped by 80%. Mortar fire is sporadic. German command posts inland are screaming for reinforcements, but the roads are cratered. The ship's missiles didn't just hit beach defenses. 2 Tomahawks hit the main supply road 3 miles inland. A third hit the regional headquarters bunker. The command network is fractured. Local commanders can't coordinate. Reserve units don't know where to go, and that's the pivot. The problem in 1944 wasn't that the Allies lacked firepower. They had battleships, thousands of bombers. The problem was they couldn't see the system, couldn't map the network, couldn't kill the nodes that mattered in the right order. A modern destroyer doesn't fight bunkers. It fights the system. It decapitates command. It severs communications. It creates cascading failures. One casemate dies. The observer post that directed its fire dies next. The ammo bunker supplying both dies third. 3 targets, entire sector collapses. The Germans don't lose guns, they lose coordination. And without coordination, fortifications become tombs. H plus 10 minutes. The first wave hits the beach. Landing craft ramps drop, troops pour out. They expect the meat grinder. They get scattered rifle fire instead. The corridors are open. Engineers sprint forward with Bangalore torpedoes to clear wire and obstacles. Machine gun nests that should be hosing the beach are silent. Rubble and bodies, medics move without getting cut down. Platoon leaders actually have time to think. This isn't Omaha 1944. This is Omaha with cheat codes enabled. But the destroyer isn't coasting. The 5-inch gun shifts targets every 18 seconds. A German flak position tries to engage low-flying spotters. 3 airbursts later, the flak gun is scrapped. A mortar team sets up behind a hedgerow inland. Thermal imaging catches them. 2 high explosive rounds bracket the position. The crew vanishes. The gun keeps scanning, keeps firing. Barrel temperature climbs. The crew cycles to a slower rate to avoid overheating. 30 rounds per minute drops to 20. Still faster than anything in 1944. At H plus 15, German reinforcements arrive from inland. 2 companies of infantry with half-tracks and light armor. They're supposed to counterattack the beach before the Allies consolidate. They don't make it. The destroyer's radar picks up vehicle movement on the coast road. The combat system classifies targets, soft-skinned vehicles. The captain clears 2 more Tomahawks. The missiles overfly the beach and detonate above the road. Submunitions rain down, half-tracks explode. Infantry scatter into ditches. Survivors try to advance on foot. The 5-inch gun walks rounds along the road. Shrapnel dot fire. Chaos. The counterattack dissolves before it reaches the bluffs. Now the math starts to bite. The destroyer has 70 Tomahawks left. Sounds comfortable, it's not. The ship is supporting 2 corridors across a 2-mile front. Every 10 minutes, new targets emerge. A hidden bunker opens fire. A reserve position activates. A self-propelled gun rolls into range. Each decision costs missiles or 5-inch rounds. The 5-inch magazine holds 600 rounds. 400 are already gone. At current rate of fire, the ship will be Winchester on the main gun in 90 minutes. Tomahawks will last longer, but only if the crew rations them. Priority targets only, no wastage. The crew starts triaging harder. Bunkers with direct line of sight to the beach, Tomahawk. Bunkers firing from defilade or at angles, 5-inch. Infantry in the open, 5-inch with airburst. Vehicles, Tomahawk if massed, 5-inch if isolated. Command posts, Tomahawk always. The kill count climbs. 31 strong points destroyed, 14 suppressed. 8 bypassed because they can't hit the corridors. German casualties pass 800. Allied casualties on the beach are 60% lower than the historical battle. Troops are off the sand and moving up the bluffs in under 40 minutes. But here's the edge case. If the Germans had massed their armor earlier, If they'd pushed coastal batteries forward during the night, if they'd dispersed strong points instead of clustering them, the destroyer's magazine would empty faster. It's not infinite, it's just precise. Precision wins when the enemy is predictable and fixed. The Atlantic Wall was both. So the ship doesn't run dry, it runs lean. Enough left to cover the second wave and suppress flanking positions. Enough to keep the corridors open until naval gunfire support arrives. Just enough. H plus 90 minutes. The beach is secure. Allied forces control both corridors and are pushing inland. Engineers have cleared lanes through the obstacles. Medical stations are set up behind the seawall. Reinforcements land without heavy fire. The destroyer pulls back to a holding position 12 miles offshore. Magazine status: 42 Tomahawks remaining, 130 rounds of 5-inch. Enough for limited fire support. Not enough for another full beach assault. The ship refuels from a tanker and waits for resupply. Mission complete. What did it actually break? Not the entire Atlantic Wall. Not every bunker from Cherbourg to Caen. It broke the system defending 2 corridors. 31 strong points destroyed. Command posts decapitated. Fire direction networks collapsed. Observation posts blinded, reinforcement routes cratered. The Germans still hold most of the coast. But the 2 corridors are enough. Troops exploit the gaps. Flanking positions get rolled up from behind. By H+4 hours, Allied forces control a beachhead 2 miles deep. In the real battle, that took most of the day and cost 3,000 casualties. Here, casualties are under 1,200. The difference is speed. The destroyer didn't give the defenders time to adapt. Here's what it couldn't do. It couldn't stop every bullet. Isolated rifle fire still hit troops on the beach. It couldn't clear mines. Engineers did that by hand, under fire. It couldn't eliminate every mortar. Some crews stayed hidden and kept firing until infantry flushed them out. The ship created conditions for success. It didn't guarantee 0 losses. Modern weapons compress timelines and reduce uncertainty. They don't erase risk, and the limits matter. One destroyer can open corridors. It can't hold ground, it can't occupy territory. It can break a defense network in minutes, but only if the network is fixed and predictable. The Atlantic Wall was designed in 1942. Positions were mapped, fields of fire were documented. Bunkers didn't move. A modern destroyer's sensors and missiles are built to exploit that. Against a dispersed mobile defense, the math changes. Missiles become less efficient. The 5-inch gun has to search instead of strike. The magazine drains faster. Fixed defenses are the destroyer's perfect target. Fluid defenses are harder. The real lesson isn't that modern ships are unstoppable. It's that information dominance changes everything. In 1944, gunners fired blind and hoped, spotters guessed. Commanders waited for reports that came too late. The destroyer sees the whole battlefield. It knows what it hit, it knows what's left. It prioritizes, strikes, confirms, and moves to the next target. That cycle is the difference between suppression and destruction. Between hoping the bunker is dead and knowing it's gone. One ship didn't win D-Day. It opened a door. Troops still had to walk through it. Engineers still had to clear obstacles. Infantry still had to fight inland. But the door opened in minutes instead of hours. Casualties dropped, momentum built faster. The beachhead solidified before German reserves could organize. That's the edge, not magic. Not invincibility, speed, precision, and certainty. If you want to see how modern tactics break historical battles, subscribe. No hype, just numbers, scenarios, and what actually happens when technology meets history. We run the math so you don't have to guess.